So the first round of the NFL draft has concluded last night, and the Baltimore Ravens have selected safety Malaki Starks from the University of Georgia.
Let's put him on the board. Got it. Championship.
And it seems like the Ravens flock loves this pick for the most part.
I said, do we have a talent? Huh?
There is a sector of us that feels like, you know what, the Ravens could have, should have gone in a different direction.
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go? Nope.
But as it stands, he is a Baltimore Raven, so we got to cheer for him.
Excuse me, what's my motivation?
Listen, do not get me wrong. Malaki is a very talented player with a bright future ahead of him in the city of Baltimore. It's just to some that it wasn't a need. Now, the Ravens do have a championship level roster, but many of us thought that the depth could be used somewhere else. I said this season, I was rocking with EDC. I was going to believe in him and hope that things were going to go a little bit different, but apparently we are not starting off on the right foot.
Help me!
Now, I have to give him credit. He re-signed Ronnie Stanley, giving us that left tackle that we needed, giving Lamar some protection and some continuity and stability going into the 2025 season. But when it came to the first round of the draft, a lot of us thought that guard was going to be a position that the Ravens were going to target in the first round. And I know people are going to come and say, Hendo, listen, there wasn't a lot left at pick 27 when it came to the guard position. I know that Josh Simmons was still out there, and a lot of us Ravens fans felt like he was the best player left on the board. But people are going to say, listen, he's coming off a patella injury. We don't know. We shouldn't go after injured players. Why take that chance in the first round? Why take that chance on a guy that may not produce for us and go with something that we think or believe that's going to help this team get over the hump? But let us not forget, we did that with David Ojabo in the second round. He was a high second round pick. And he got injured right before we drafted him. So when it comes to defense, there's always this different narrative. It's always a different story when it comes to somebody on the defensive end. And we knew that when it came to drafting the best player available, the best players available on the Baltimore Ravens board are always going to be defenders. Now, this has nothing to do with the pick because I like Malaki Starks. I think he is an uber talented player. I think he is the best safety that was in the draft.
That boy is good.
You get a 6'1", 205-pound safety who has the pedigree that he has, playing and starting at the University of Georgia for 3 years, winning a national championship, being an All-American. He knows how to play winning football. But for me, it's always going to be about protecting Lamar Jackson. And each and every draft we go into, well, by the time we get to pick, it's not many guys out there. But the Ravens did have 11 picks this draft. They could have moved up. I don't know why we have a mentality and everybody's okay with the Ravens sitting back and waiting for things to fall to them. Be aggressive. Make a move. Teams traded up to get guys that they wanted. We want to sit back and say, well, the value. No, the value is winning. The value isn't where you drafted a guy. The same thing happened in 2022 with Tyler Linderbaum. A lot of people was like, a center in the first round, let's not do it. But look at us now. Look how he stabilized this offensive line. It's not about where a guy is drafted, to me personally. It's about his value and what he brings to the team. And the disappointment started for me with pick 18 when the Seattle Seahawks took Gray Zabel. And then 6 picks later, the Minnesota Vikings picked up Donovan Jackson. So there are times, and it's not just this draft that it's happened, where you start to see guys coming off the board at a position that you may want to target, and you sit back and say, well, you know what, whatever's left over, we'll pick amongst them, or we'll just do what we always do and draft defense. And do not get me wrong, this guy is talented. This guy is a talent. I think he's going to do some great things for the Baltimore Ravens. Is he going to be the one to put us over the top? Is he going to be the ones to create those turnovers that the Ravens have sorely been lacking? I love a great player. I love guys that can make plays. But I think we are a little too excited about deploying 3 safeties. Now, yes, he can play in the slot. He does have that ability. But the knock on him was his long speed. The knock on him was the 4.5 40. Now, granted, 40 times aren't always a telltale sign of how great a player is going to be. But that's probably why he fell, and most likely most teams just really aren't picking up safeties in the first round outside of Baltimore. And I know that a lot of people are disappointed that the Ravens did not go out there and go get themselves an edge rusher. Edge rusher, to me, luxury pick, kind of, sort of. The Ravens were second in the league last year with 54 sacks because the Ravens somehow, we just know how to generate pressure. Even years when we think the pass rush isn't going to be that good, they generate pressure. They find guys in the later rounds that get things done. And then we're going to go into free agency, and whoever's left over, we're going to pick those guys up. So to me, a first round pass rusher, I don't think that there were guys available at 27 that were difference makers. Now, there are guys that can come in and be productive, but I don't think difference makers were there at 27. So to me, I think that the best thing for them to do at that time was to go out and protect Lamar Jackson. We don't know if Lele is going to progress from year one as a starter. We really don't know what's going to happen with Andrew Voorhees. Can he stay healthy for a full season? Do the Ravens believe in Ben Cleveland? And yes, we still have the rest of the draft to go. We have the second and third rounds, but will the Ravens be able to pull things off? My hope is tonight, when the Ravens get into the second round, they address a need and get a guard, get a swing tackle, get somebody, because outside of not having two starters at guard, we don't have any backs at tackle. If one of our guys goes down, we don't have anybody right now that can step in. And to be quite honest with you, I don't have the utmost faith that we can get this done. Outside of last season drafting Roger Rosengarten, the Ravens have not been drafting too well in the second round. We've had problems identifying the talent, and we've just made some bad picks, and it's not all EDC thing. Like, we've had the Arthur Browns, we've had the Kamale Correas, we've had the David Ajabos, and unfortunately we had the J.K. Dobbins, which was more an injury type thing rather than talent. But outside of last season, we have not been able to pick well in the second rounds or the third or fourth rounds when it comes to offensive linemen. So I thought that the Ravens were going to use some of these picks because the EDC himself said, we are not going to be able to get all of these guys to play on this team with the talent that we have. So I was hopeful that they were going to pick somebody up. Malaki Starks is a great addition to this team, but would he have been there in the second round? It's a possibility. Not too many teams are out here rushing to get a safety in the first round. The Detroit Lions just re-signed their safety to an $84 million extension. Kirby Joseph was a third-round selection at safety. 9 interceptions last season. So only in Baltimore are we here to celebrate a safety. Now, yes, we are in the business, as EDC said, of collecting and keeping great talent. But how much of this talent is going to affect the Ravens come playoff time? How much is this talent going to make Lamar Jackson better? And we've heard in the past, well, we keep drafting defense because these guys are going to get Lamar the ball. Like, they're going to get turnovers, get Lamar the ball back. They're going to score points. It's better for Lamar if the defense is stout. Well, all this collection of defense over the last 7 seasons got us the 27th rated pass defense. And for most part of the season, they were dead last. But we were second in sacks. And before coming into the season, all I heard was Marlon Humphrey, Brandon Stevens, Nate Wiggins, Kyle Hamilton, and Marcus Williams. This is arguably the best top 2, not 2, defensive backfields in the NFL. And we saw exactly what happened. And Lamar had to carry this team, and we had to outscore opponents after starting 0-2. So my hope is round 2 tonight. Make sure you check it out, Sip the Tally. Protect Lamar Jackson. Like, why do we have to beg?
I have to beg, please, for your sympathy.
For the Ravens to do offensively the things that they do instinctively for the defense. Safety was technically, really, honestly, and truthfully not a position of need. It was not. I honestly would have felt better off if the Ravens would have went out and drafted a cornerback. That would have made me feel a little bit better, because I saw the taglines, I saw Twitter when they're like showing everybody, and they included Chidobe Awuzie, another guy that can't stay healthy. Now, we won't draft an offensive lineman because of his health concerns. We will sign guys and draft defensive guys that have injury concerns and then celebrate them. But offensively, we nitpick each and everything and each and every reason why we cannot do it. Yes, guard, tackle, first round. Not a sexy pick whatsoever. But it's about stabilizing an offensive line. It's about protecting your greatest asset. It's about going into a playoff game and not letting an undermanned, undersized team push you around. We are supposed to be the Baltimore Ravens. We're supposed to be the big bad bullies. We're supposed to have guys on the offensive and defensive lines that dictate games, impose our will, and show our might. But for some reason, we want to go out and go get these nondescript positions that truly and honestly don't really affect games. Are they great players? Are they good players? Yeah. But do they have an effect on the game? Are they going to change the outcome? Are they going to change the fortunes of where the Ravens are going? Because we've had 7 seasons of the same exact thing. 7 seasons of, well, the offense didn't show up and we need to get Lamar some help to, defense in the first round of the draft. And possibly tonight, defense in the second round of the draft. And a lot of mock drafts that I've seen defense 3 out of the first 4 rounds. When do we prioritize Lamar Jackson? When do we show him that, hey, you are just as important as getting defensive fixtures that fail us when it counts the most? So to me, hopefully going forward, the Ravens do what's right and protect Lamar Jackson. Get him somebody. And I get it that free agency is not over. We still have the June 1st cuts that y'all love to talk about, that we didn't pick up anybody last year because y'all told me last year, just wait till June 1st. He's going to show us why he's cooking. And apparently his stove was not working.
Nah, man, I'm cool.